Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for a Talk Magic. And today I have somebody on the channel who I have so much respect for. I've been trying to get him on here for a long time. He is incredible. He is one of the top magicians, not just in the UK, but in the world. Michael J Fitch. Michael, thank you so much for coming on Talk Magic. I really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. What an amazing introduction.
Well, it's true. I mean, half of my cabaret act is your stuff, and I am a massive fan of what you do, what you've achieved, and what you continue to do. And there's so much stuff that you've done. I've got so many talking points here. It's incredible. It really is. So, yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, I mean, as good as you can, but I'm homeschooling 2 kids.
Yeah.
Which, you know, who are 5 and 8. So there's that to contend with. But other than that, I'm good. I'm great. I'm having a blast. Are you?
Yes, not bad. Not bad at all. Sort of, it's a strange time, but making the most of it. You know, last summer was a lot of fun with the family, and my children aren't really kids anymore now. I've got Savannah is 17 and Scarlett is 13. But we've had some real quality time. That's been the best thing out of this strange time we're in. You know, we have had some amazing family time that's priceless, really. Yeah, so just enjoying all the laughter and that around the house, and you know, so I mean, surrounded with three women in the house is a bit of a nightmare. But you know, it's.
I can imagine. And you know what? I think people will look back at 2020 and 2021. I think we'll look back at it fondly in years to come. You know, I really do. I really do.
Absolutely. I missed family and friends, but you know, this is the new virtual arena we're in. Still being able to catch up and have some important conversations with people and reaching out. You know, a lot of things that we're missing, but like especially last summer, that was you know, I bought a paddle board and realised it's not easy and kept falling in the river and that, but we had such a laugh. You know, we're very lucky. We live near Dedham in Suffolk, and it was packed down there, and we'd go down the river, and then I bought a little kayak because I thought the girls can use the paddleboard. I'll sit in the kayak, but it was amazing. I never usually do stuff like that, and just enjoying the family time, you know. And then and obviously still missing getting out there performing, but found another way of doing it, and using those creative juices. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely, and that's something that we can talk about down the line. I'd like to talk about what you're doing virtually, because you're pioneering a lot of this stuff. You know, we've talked off camera, and some of the stuff you're doing is absolutely incredible. But before we do any of that, for the people that don't know who Michael J Fitch is, let's do let's find out a little bit more about you first of all. Now, when did you first get into magic, Michael? Was it your typical, I got a kit when I was a kid, or?
Yeah, I've got the box right there. In fact, I'm going to show you. This. Okay. Yes, there you go, organised. Right here. The whole journey started because of this. Given to me when I was 4 years old. The Paul Daniels mystery box.
Wow.
And this is the actual box, and yeah, I also had a Fisher-Price magic set. I don't know if any of your viewers remember that one with the 3 colored drawers. That was a great set, really, really great. But yeah, this has got a little box in. I used to put the budgie in there and make it disappear and things. And then, you know, used to be in front of the telly like all the magicians, you know, Saturday watching Paul Daniels and then watching Wayne Dobson. And I was hooked. I was hooked as a kid. And literally decided when I was 4 that when I grow up, I want to be a magician. Obviously, we know you can't do both, but it happened. And yeah, that's primary school report says Michael needs to learn there's more to life than magic and entertaining people. So I got that in writing from the head teacher. And then sort of, you know, about 10 years later, they paid me to go back and do my magic. So that was nice. You're like, hello, miss. So that was, that was fun. But yeah, no, just very lucky that I knew what I wanted to do when I was a kid and had, you know, my parents believed in me and stuff. There was definitely that conversation when you're like 13, like, right, what are you really going to do? I was like, well, you've always encouraged me that you like the magic. What do you mean? This is sort of this is what I do. And I mean, the big thing when I was a kid, I remember was my dad used to have quite a lot of meetings and entertainer. He used to be a football director for Colchester United and have a lot of people over and had a little bar downstairs. And I remember being about sort of 5 and I used to save my pocket money and go to the joke shop in Colchester and buy different tricks. And one was a 2p on a bit of elastic. And it was in my dressing gown and I used to sort of fold it over and make it disappear. And I remember being woken up. My dad probably had a couple of gin and tonics or something and said, oh, go and get Michael to do his magic, you know. So here I come, performing monkey, you know, with the symbols. And I come downstairs, like, hello. And I was like, hey, what are you going to do? I was like, look, see the 2p watch. It's gone. He's like, oh, brilliant, go to bed. I was like, oh. so I guess from an early age, I was sort of like, I had that confidence, and being the youngest kid, that's how it all started anyway. That's yeah.
And was there any period of time when you weren't a full-time professional magician, like after you finished school or something, or did you just go literally straight into performing?
Yeah, no, I was doing gigs when I was at school, so I was quite busy. For a secondary school sort of got in the way a bit of my career because I was doing gigs and stuff and going out and earning 25 quid doing a kid's party. I mean, my first paid gig, I was 6 years old and I got 6 quid and 3 quid of that I gave to a mate of mine just for holding a tray with a finger chopper on it. And that was ridiculous. You know, I gave half my fee away just to a bloke for holding a tray. So I sacked him. But yeah, I remember that was in a hospital, 6 quid. And then, and I was doing shows for kids when I was the same age as the kids and stuff. And then, secondary school, I used to do a lot every weekend. And there was a few days where I had to, I mean, once my parents wrote in and said, oh, can he leave early because he's got a show? And they said no. So my dad said, right, you have the day off then. It's like, yes. But then he made me work. And so it was been better going to school because he was like, no, right. But he knew that that's what I was going to go into do. So when I had shows, I would have a day off from school and go and do the gig and stuff to drive to it. But yeah, literally, they couldn't wait for me to learn to drive because I got quite busy. I used to do Colchester Zoo every day of the summer holidays, 6 weeks summer holidays. I'd do 3 shows a day there every single day. And that was a great experience, you know, for learning a lot. I also did Punch and Judy back in the day as well. So, you know, I did magic and Punch and Judy and learned a lot doing all of that. And then because I was there, people saw me and booked me for shows, and then it just spiraled. My dad always used to remind me of this memory. I did a Children in Need show for charity, obviously, with some friends. I did a show, and then someone phoned up to book me. This was before I was sort of doing shows. And they said, oh, we saw Michael at the Children in Need show. We'd like to book him. And my mum said, have you seen him? I was like, what's that's not a very good thing to say. Are you sure? Have you seen him? Like, yeah, we thought it was good. So yeah, luckily she wasn't like my agent or manager. But yeah, no, it's just sort of grew, you know, how most magicians do, and it took over. But yeah, there was definitely that weird conversation of sort of going into secondary school, like, what are you really going to do? And I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do.
It sounds that your parents were really supportive for you, though, which is, you know, that makes the world of difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, very, very supportive. And my dad was extremely proud. He passed away last year, bless him. But he was my number one fan. And I'm glad he got to see sort of, you know, some of the bigger things that happened in my career. And yeah, that was yeah, we got some really fond memories. But yeah, my dad, yeah, they couldn't wait for me to learn to drive, because I was getting quite busy, and they've got a business themselves. They're busy, but they were driving me around to gigs, so they couldn't wait for me to learn to drive. So like literally after a week, after 17, I was driving and straight out there doing it and things. And yeah.
So you've basically been performing your entire life, and you've
Yeah,
finished.
not yet.
You carry on performing. When at what point, when you first started performing, was it primarily sort of kid shows? And
Yeah.
how did you then transition to, because people know you these days, and we'll get into this a little bit later on, but people know you as a very slick cabaret and stage magician and a top close-up magician. I know you still do family events as well, but when did that sort of thing happen? Because everything you've said up until this point is kind of
Yeah, it did definitely started kid stuff, and then I would do some stage stuff. I'd travel around steam fairs, and with a big Gavioli organ, they'd have a stage and can dancers, and I would do a cabaret. So that I was doing a bit of that. And then the close-up magic, I had a really good gig at the Forte Post House, you remember the hotel chain nearby, and I used to do every Friday. No, yeah, was it every Friday? Friday, I ended up doing Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday lunchtime. And it wasn't loads of money, but it was regular work and busy. And I really learned a lot. And like one of my main sort of mentors, and I always have to buy him a drink when I see him, and it is, I know you've spoke to him as well, is Doc Eason. If it wasn't for Doc Eason's VHS sets, I mean, that changed the game for me. I think seeing Doc, I see him lecture at Ipswich and see him perform. Absolutely loved his style. And then when his DVDs, videos, VHSs came out, when I did close up, I had a pack of cards that did one trick, and I had this that did another trick, and there's this thing with the locks, and it was very that. And then it was sort of that really taught me so much. Then I really got into the sort of close up magic a bit later, sort of when I was like a teenager, and then that sort of that would take over. And obviously it was a different price bracket as well, and I found that was different. And then the corporate and the stand-up would take over, and then eventually the presenting, and it's changed, evolved. But still, I still do family shows, and it is, I call it bread and butter work. I don't do it as often, but when I do it, I'm doing it on a big scale. I'm off to Kensington and Chelsea, or I've done a birthday party in where did I go? Monaco and Switzerland. I was flown out to do a 11-year-old's birthday party out there and stuff. So it's amazing.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to ask you, actually. A lot of magicians will say, "Oh, I don't do kid shows," and it's almost like they look down on family I don't want to say kids entertainers. It's kind of very 1980s kids entertainers.
Yeah.
Most kids entertainers now, they present it as a family audience. You don't just have kids in a room most of the time. So most, you do family shows, but you also do high-end shows. Has that opened doors for you? What advice can you give to magicians that kind of go, "Well, I don't do kid shows"? Do you know what I mean? Because it seems to me that you've, throughout your career, done both and done it very successfully. And a lot of people, they kind of worry, don't they? "Oh, if I'm seen as a family entertainer, then I won't get this big high-end booking." But you're kind of proving that that's not the case.
Yeah, absolutely. The children's shows will often lead to big corporate events and stuff. And it's my, the style of kids entertainer I am, as I don't dress up like as a clown or anything. I'm a magician. My stage name is Michael J Fitch. And so it's always, it's the same. It's Michael J Fitch for the family, or it's Michael J Fitch for the corporate, or it's Michael J Fitch the presenter, or it's still Michael J Fitch, and I absolutely love doing family shows. I mean, the kids' reactions are truly magical. Really, it's amazing, and I really like to take that to a different level with the material that I'm doing, with the music, and create like a sort of Disney feel to it, and be a magician for the kid, and not, you've got a lot to they can put on DVDs and watch incredible things happen that Disney and Pixar put out. So when they give you your time for seeing live entertainment, try and make it like a real magician, and as magical as possible, with the music, the way you dress, even like the shoes and all that malarkey that you're wearing, and they remember stuff like that. I'm doing this. I remember the magician at my 6th birthday party. I remember watching, thinking, "Oh my days, he made a cigarette." I just remember he did a trick with a cigarette. Probably not the right thing to do. He did the trick with a cigarette, put it in a bottle, made it fly out the bottle. So strange things to do at a kids' party. But it was we're a very, very privileged position, and I've had some incredible feedback, and I absolutely love doing it. I love it. And do some big Christmas, not obviously last Christmas, but Christmas. Do some big events in sort of banks in London, and literally take over the whole thing. And it's like it's full of like over 100 kids, and you're doing this show, and it's great. But it's the family, the adults are enjoying it as much as the kids. Like, I remember when I did that lecture at Kidology, people say, well, how do you stop the parents talking? Well, entertain them as well. That's it. If you're going to patronize them, well, making a rabbit, I'm not going to cut run rabbit run, but if you're doing over egging it and trying to get as much time out as possible out of a thing, and it's, but if you're doing something that's, I have a few jokes go over the kids' heads and everything, and I'm fine with that. It suits my style. But you're entertaining the adults as well as the kids. That's the key for me. And then they're the ones who book you at the end of the day. They're the ones who pick the phone up and book you for the show, and for other shows as well. So yeah, it's you can do both.
Well, when you do a show and there's kids in the audience, I don't think any adult that's in the audience looks at you as a kid's entertainer. They look at you as an entertainer. I'm sure that they would go, if they're an event planner looking for a corporate entertainer, they would watch you do a family event, and they would go, Michael would be perfect for our next corporate event. You know what I mean? It's because your style is the same. And we'll get into this later on with branding, but your style is the same. It's not like there's a big world of a difference between you doing a family show and you doing a corporate show. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, big time. I know some of the big corporate stuff has come direct from someone seeing me at a 7-year-old's birthday or 10-year-old's birthday, something like that. And the nice compliment is when the parents have come up to me at the end of the show saying, I was meant to drop him off and go shopping, but when the show started, I've stayed for the whole event. I loved it. And that's so nice. And the parents have said that. And that all helps with a sort of word of mouth when you're booked and stuff, is really capture the whole room and entertain everybody, and that's it.
And we talked about COVID earlier on. I think that one of the first opportunities that's going to open up from a live entertainment point of view are going to be kid shows. I think that before the sort of the close-up environments, the 100 people squeezed into a sardine tin, before we can do any of that, I think that sort of children's birthday parties and family events are going to be.
Yeah, people want to mark the opportunity, want to mark that occasion in a special way. And I think you're right. I think once it's all lifted, they'll want to even more. And it's absolutely, I hope so. I mean, I've done a few sort of kids stuff, over Zoom and things as well. And that you can still actually, it works. It does work, as you've got all of the different monitors, and they're reacting and stuff, and you involving everybody and you're getting them involved, so it's them doing the magic, and I make stuff happen that appears their side and things. It's great, but it's not the same as the live feel. I miss that sort of live audience, or a school. I love school shows, a school hall with all the kids going completely nutty. It's great fun. Yeah, and I love it.
Okay, so let's so you're being super successful. Let's talk about your TV appearances, because you've been on TV an awful lot. But the thing I remember you for more than anything else is the chav, which I just absolutely love that. Was that on Astounding Celebrities?
No, that was Freaky. On Freaky, yeah, Channel 4 T4 crowd.
It was an ensemble thing, wasn't it? There were quite a few on there, but I think Dave Penn was on there.
Dave Penn, yeah, me, Dave Penn, Nigel Mead. Who else? There was a few of us. Yeah, it was an ensemble of magicians, and we did 2 series.
I don't want to take anything away from the other guys. For me, the reason I was tuning in was because of the chav. Like, it was awesome. How did that all come about? And can you give any advice on how to get onto it? It's the holy grail, isn't it? Magicians want to be a TV magician.
Yeah, well, I TV is a very strange medium. I had so many pilots and did so many different things before and after that, and some stuff sticks. And I did the thing on Justin's House, not recently, but that's one of the most recent things. That was a great show to do, because that was everything I imagined. It was a studio audience. It was live. I'm making Robert the Robot flying. It was like oh my days, this is a proper TV show in a studio and everything. But Freaky was amazing. That was Stephen Mulhern who made me dress up as the Chav, and it was fun. It was fun. It was a very sort of Ali G type character doing magic, and I look back recently at some of that stuff, and I've got very fond memories of it because we're very lucky. We had Patrick Page as magical advisor on that show, second series. So we spent a lot of time with Pat, and you know, to be able to say that he was a magical advisor for the show, and we went out for some very special Chinese meals and would sit and Pat doing his thing, and I was the chap with a sort of secret hidden camera on a market stall, and Pat's under the table, so I'm doing all the real work. Oh, Patrick Page, legend, under the table there, you know, and I'm borrowing someone's mobile phone, going, all right, missus, or let me borrow your phone. Have you ever had a headache in your life? And the bloke's like, yeah. You go, that's because of radiation from your phone, isn't it? So what are we talking about? He goes, I can make your phone radiation proof, and then I wrap it in tin foil, and I try and charge a £5. I'm like, that's £5, mate. There you go. You won't get a headache anymore. So I'm not paying. He goes, what's this paying you go? If you don't pay, you don't go. And I get a crowbar and start banging the shit out of this mobile phone. And I nearly got beaten up a few times. We actually had to pay a local big guy to sort of step in because, you know, they didn't know how they're going to react as some idiot smashing their phone. But there were some real fun moments, and yeah, real fond memories of that. And yeah, and the Chav was booked to talk about him like a different person. He's a different person. The Chav was booked to do like some corporate. Someone said, "Are you the Chav I've seen on Channel 4?" I'm like, yeah. So, oh, great. And I got booked to do a corporate, a full 45-minute show as the Chav, and I've got this bright orange shell suit and, like, you know, walk in and all that, and the confidence. It's a bit like a clown put on the mask and everything. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was just very strange. Like, you know, the confidence and the cheekiness of the character would come out with stuff, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, he hasn't been around for a while now. But it was yeah, Chav it, the Chav.
It was brilliant. It really was. And if somebody else wanted to try and get on TV, I mean, is it a case of trying to get in front of the right people, networking?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I get some calls and things about other TV projects, and most of the time they don't happen, and but it's putting yourself, you know, the thing is, at every gig you do, no matter what it is, if it's in the local village hall and it's so-and-so, you don't know that one of the parents isn't a TV producer, or you don't know who they are. That's how a lot of my breaks have come, because you never know who's in the audience. And if you always have that in the back of your mind at every single gig you do, and always be the best you can be and enjoy it. And that's the most important thing. I mean, I have seen, not recently, but there used to be kids entertainers who are completely just in it for the money, and you store it on their performance. And that's part of the reason I was busy, is because it stood out as fresh, and, you know, the kids entertainer didn't like kids. It's like that Punch and Judy man from Heidi High sort of thing. You know, there was a lot of that around, and I absolutely loved what I do. Really enjoyed my job, and I would lap it up. But you never know who's in the audience, so they find you. I mean, you can put yourself out there and things, and there's all the normal sort of talent shows and that side of it. But I think personally that is all about the judges, not the act, and you've got to be careful with that. But it can work for some people, and yeah, it's but it's not everything, actually. It's not. It's, people think it is because we grow up watching Paul Daniels and all that, and I haven't done loads of it. There's a lot of people done a lot more than me, and yeah, it's great profile stuff and things like that, but it's not everything at all. That, I don't know, it's finding, if you're doing magic already, you're a winner. If you're doing it and you're making money out of it, then that's it. Think about what you wanted when you was younger. You wanted to do this for a living. There's always looking over the fence and saying, I want what they've got. And if you think like that, you'll never be happy, because you're always wanting more. And that can apply to someone who you think is the happiest person in the world. They've got everything, but they'll never be happy because their mindset. So if you stop and actually assess what you've got around you now, then I guarantee you more opportunities will come, because you're not as desperate, you're relaxed, and things come your way. They just do. I really believe in that. I think if you find you're happy with what you've got and not always wanting, yeah, absolutely, don't lose ambition. That's a different thing, and wanting that. But there's been thinking about what you've got now, and I'm sure you've all out there, if you do it, even if you do it as a hobby and you're you know you can change the atmosphere in a room through what you do, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Don't be unhappy because like I'm not happy actually because I want that. You know, I want a Tesla, but my car gets me from A to B and stuff like that, you know, and I'm not, you know, but it's, I don't know. I think I definitely think there's something there. I'm not very good at the way what I'm trying to get over here, but I definitely believe that's true.
That whole grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, isn't it? It's kind of like,
Yeah.
and I think social media plays a big part of that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you look at magicians posting, you know, and I've just done this gig, I've just done this gig, and you go, oh, I wish I'd done that. But
Yeah.
ultimately, you're getting to do what you love. It doesn't matter. I totally agree with you. That's
Yeah. I think just find it. Absolutely. Absolutely. But also have the vision. Have the vision. Don't sort of be stuck in a rut and think, oh, I can't achieve any more than this, because you absolutely can in whatever job you're in. If you're watching this, you're not a magician. You know, you absolutely picture what you want. You can achieve anything you want. But I just think be content, and these things come to you, I think.
Yeah, that's great advice. Having said all that, you've had an incredibly successful career. I mean, half of the stuff that you have done already, most magicians in the UK could only dream of: performing for the Queen, performing for some incredibly high-end clients. One of the things that I think that you do better than anybody I know is create a personal brand for yourself. Michael J Fitch is a brand, and people just want you. Have you got any advice on creating a brand? I know that you know, we can talk about your coins and your notes, because that's something that you do. You're constantly creating social proof, and you're constantly raving about everything that you're doing. You're creating opportunities, and it is incredible to see how well you've done. And it, especially, you know, you've just said, you know, you've got no formal training in marketing or anything like that. You went straight into entertainment, and yet you've dominated this industry for a very long time.
It's there's two words, isn't it? It's show business, and it's I was very lucky, you know. The name Michael J Fitch is happened. People say, what's the J stand for? The J stands for John. It's just my middle name. It's nothing mega out there, and it was because Equity already had the name I was using and stuff. So I went with Michael J Fitch, and I like it. It works as a thing, because now I'm sort of doing presenting and that sort of thing, and it works for brand. So I've never been sort of, you know, Uncle Michael or this or that, because then if I did that, I'd have to have a different thing for that. So I don't know really. There's a lot of people who I think do it a lot better than me, but there's certain examples that you mentioned, like the coin was one thing that. So the coins of mine, I don't know if I've had them now 20 years or more. Well, no, maybe 25 actually. But I learned a trick. Is it just magicians watch this? Or
it is just for magicians? Nobody
okay.
else sees this channel but magicians.
So I used to have the Houdini coin, you know, with the handcuffs on one side, Houdini head on the other, and there was a great trick went with it. But I bought that coin once, and I learned, which was before the muscle pass actually, but I used to, there was a great thing that, who was it? Chad Long in his lecture did this really cool thing where you touched a piece of flash paper on a candle and you threw it across, and it would turn into a coin in your hand. And it looked amazing. Like literally it appeared. It looked like the flame turned into a coin mid-flight. And I thought, well, that's really cool. And I had this gold coin with the thing, and I tried it. And then in the birthday parties, the birthday cake was a very big moment. I would talk about making a wish and create a little bit of theatre around that moment, sing happy birthday. And I said, and this is a magic, if you touch it, you get a wish. And I would throw from the birthday candle the flame into my hand. The coin would appear in my hand. And I'm like, wow. And I said, this is a magic coin. And I said, it gives you magic power. And then I used to make the coin invisible. I said, that's invisible coin for you. See the kid's disappointment as I gave him an invisible coin, looking at me thinking, prick. So I remember once I felt really bad because this little girl's face, I said, no, all right, no, it's here, really, you can have it. And I gave her my Houdini coin, and her face lit up, and I thought, I know what I do. I'll get a load of Houdini coins and I'll just like factor it into the thing, and they can have a coin each. And then I thought, well, actually, Houdini wasn't the magician at their party creating that memory. It was me. So I'll get my own coins made. So and then I remember I used to have these weird ideas. And I said to my parents, I said, I'm going to get my own coins made. My dad's like, oh my God, what? It's like, yeah. And I was like looking into it, and I contacted the Franklin Mint in America, and the shipping was going to be ridiculous. And it nearly didn't happen so many times, because to have the dies made for the coins, have these dies stamped to make these coins is astronomical. And my brother sort of made a joke. He said, oh, why don't you ring the Queen? Because she had a load of coins made. Ha ha ha. And I was like, good idea, Royal Mint. So I phoned the Royal Mint, and I said, I want to get my own coins made, and blah, 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 blah. I thought I'd be able to have like a photo on it. And anyway, they put me through to a chap called Raphael McClough. And he is the guy who drew the Queen's head on the British banknotes. He's the artist. And I end up speaking to him, and he was like, look, it's going to cost you tens and tens of thousands of pounds to do what you want to do, but here's a way, blah, blah, blah. And we got talking, and he helped me out a lot. And I created this design of the coin. In fact, I've got one. They're very rare. These are the big ones, but I can show you. There's the big. So I drew around a picture of me standing side on and stuff, and my hands on the other side with seeing is believing on. And yeah, it nearly didn't happen a lot, but man, giving away the coins, there's a whole bit that goes with it when I give the coin away. And I've done it all over the world. Even when I went on holiday in Bali, you get the sort of local kids and stuff, and you pull a coin from their ear, and magic is like really real. You produce a coin, and then I give them the coin to keep, and that's real magic. You really feel that magic in your heart when you give something like that over. And very, very quickly, there's a bit of spiel I give with the coins when I hand the coin out in the show. I said, and I've got music behind all this. This is a magic coin. I said, these coins give you magic power, help you with schoolwork, homework, singing, football, and dancing. If you have a tummy ache or a headache, squeeze it, makes you better. If you have any bad dreams like I do about my ex-girlfriend, she was rough, put it under your pillow, sleep on it, gets rid of bad dreams. When you watch TV, practice this. If you can do that, it means you watch too much TV. This is a magic coin. I want you to keep this forever. And I give that away. Now, me saying that little bit might just be a little bit to everyone else, but to that kid, they've hung on to every little word I've said, and I've got proof of that. I've got letters and emails. So I said, if you have any bad dreams, put it under your pillow. I've had loads of parents contact me saying, my kids used to have nightmares, and they sleep with your coin under the pillow, and they think it's cured them, right? I've had one parent told me she had to go to the school, the primary school, phoned up and said, have you got a magic coin for yes, no, because your son, there's a test at school and your kid's in reception crying because he left the magic coin at home. So one of the parents had to drive to the primary school with the magic coin because that's a good luck charm for the kid. And it's absolutely heartwarming moments like that. And yeah, that's extremely special. In fact, there is a clip, I'll share it with you, I'll send it to you if you want to drop it in. Recently happened this Christmas. I managed to do one show at my local hotel. We put on an evening, and this woman came up to me, and she reached in a bag and she brought out my coin that I gave to her 25 years ago. And she took the coin out and she said, I've still got the coin. And this is a woman. And I was like, oh my God, one, I felt really old, but she still had that coin. And I said, oh, is it still, and I grabbed the coin. I said, oh, is it still magic? And she went, oh, you're going to make it fly. And her reaction, like, I didn't sort of see it because it was caught on video. Someone was filming. And I said, oh, is it still magic? She went, oh my God, it's going to make it fly. It's going to make it fly. And I said, oh yeah, let's see if it still works. Normal coins fall down. These coins fall up. Oh, it still works. But she turned into a kid again.
Just finished, and this, I love moments like this, so say that again, and we're not dubbing this over because we're running out, she's definitely saying this.
This is the coin that Michael gave me for my 7th birthday, when he did my birthday party.
And how long ago was that?
18 years ago.
18 years ago, you still got that, and you carry it every day with you, don't you?
Of course, yeah.
Every day, and it's
Yeah.
brought you luck. Has it brought you luck?
Totally.
Absolutely.
I was told that I had to squeeze it and it would give me luck.
Oh my days, that's amazing. That means the world
And
to me.
this is
That
the
does.
picture of you giving it to me.
Oh my days! Look! That's your 7th birthday party.
That's my 7th birthday
and I gave you that
party,
magic coin. So you still got the magic coin now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh my god, that's made my day. I love that. That's good. You could do with a queen, but it still does the thing. That's good.
It's a little bit.
Does it work? Look, let me try this. Look. Normal coins, do you remember?
Yeah, it goes up.
Normal coins fall down. These are the only coins in the world that fall up. Just brought back a childhood memory, that, isn't it? Falls right up. There you go.
Oh, that's amazing.
There you go. It still works. It still works. Here, let me sign that for you. It'll be an absolute pleasure. I can't believe that. That's so cool. That's mad. I absolutely love moments like that.
Thank
and did you have a good evening tonight?
That's what I want to do, is I want my magic to have that impact. I want that moment. And that was so touching. Oh, that really, she still got that coin. And I'm very, very lucky. So yeah, that's something I'm very, very proud of. And I've been booked with my shows just so the kid can get a coin. So don't sell them. I've been contacted by loads of people after school. So saying, oh, can I buy a coin? I don't sell the coin. Sorry, only the kid gets one who helps me in the show. All right, can we book you then? Yeah, okay. You can book me. Yeah. But yeah, it's very, very special. They are very, very special. And of course, the Queen's got one of these as well.
I was just going to bring that up. The Queen has got one of your. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah. I'll show you. It's on. I hope I can get that back on them. So here, this was in the Daily Telegraph. I'm holding one of my coins. Ignore the fashion sense on the jacket, by the way. I don't know what I was thinking. Went to Bali and had some jackets made. But she's probably looking at my jacket thinking, being the Queen, I can move in any direction I want on there. A chest joke there for you. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's me holding the coin. And there's the Queen, Buckingham Palace Gardens, and she was walking towards me. I said, hello, Your Majesty. I said, I also have a coin with my head on. And not everyone says that to her every day. I also have a coin with my head. So I said, there, normal coins fall down. These are the only coins in the world that fall up. And this was live on Sky News. My parents watched it, and it was a real amazing moment. And then we had a little chat, and she's got the coin. And so, yeah, it's the coins are hold a very special place in my heart. And they've created some very, very special stories, and continue to do so, even, with this woman coming up to me.
I've been at gigs, and I've met people who have said, have you seen one of these? And they've actually pulled it out. They've had it on them, and they've pulled it out, and I'm like, yep, that's Michael.
Oh, wow.
I've had that twice now, where people I've been performing and they're like, hey, do you know about one of these?
That's amazing. Right. Wow. That's very special. I will share you, I'll send you that clip of the lady who came up to me with the coin, because that was a very proud moment. It was amazing little things like that happen. So yeah. Yeah, so. And
on the back of that, you've done the Finchy 50s as well, haven't you?
Fitchy pound notes. Yeah, the Fitchy pound notes. I should have one. I've got one in here, actually. Yeah. This is the next step up. It's a Fitchy pound note there. On the other side is Einstein on the back saying MJF equals OMG squared. There's small print in there. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. And obviously it's got my phone number. It's got the Magic Circle logo on. It's got the lucky card. It's got a card reveal. It's got so many different things, hidden stuff in there. And there's been I'm having quite a lot of fun with this. Dynamo paid for a meal with these before and things. I think you've got the video, actually. You can have a look and see the Fitchy pound notes.
That's amazing. But it's another example of you looking for ways to just make yourself stand out from anybody else, which I think is one of the lessons that we should take from this. I mean, you're creating memories and you're doing something magical and it's wonderful, but you're also getting these people to remember you for a very, very, very long time.
That's the plan, I guess. It's trying to, I've got business cards that print themselves as well. Like in the restaurant, I've got a lovely residency that I do, and I hand out the business card, and they'll print on the table themselves, so I get them to look at it. And they're not cheap for us to get. We've got to get them from New York and get a certain amount done. But just going that extra mile for doing these little moments, it's absolutely worth it.
Well, one thing that I get asked about, you mentioned about the residency. One thing I get asked about on this channel is people always ask, how do I get a restaurant gig? I mean, you've been the resident magician at one of the highest profile restaurants in the whole of London, Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, right? For
Yeah.
many years.
5 years. Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's and I absolutely love that. It's these things, they just, the way they come around is from other little things. So usually I've got a couple of examples of things here on how, if you say no all the time to some little opportunities, you don't know what you're missing, the bigger picture. So I'll come back to that, but just reminded me of a story. So my local Bang & Olufsen, audio store and everything, phoned me up once and wanted me for a product launch. And I thought, oh, Bang & Olufsen, brilliant, loads of money. And they're like, oh, before you get excited, we're a franchise. We haven't got loads of money, but blah, blah, blah. I said, it was short notice. It was in about 4 days. And they're launching a new iPhone dock. And I spoke to them and I said, okay, well, it would be this amount usually. Like, oh, we haven't got a budget. We've only got this amount. And I was like, at the time, I think on the early sort of Graham Norton shows, he used to have the Bang & Olufsen phone sitting there. That's like a banana sort of type phone, quite fashionable phone. And I wanted one of them. But they're 850 quid, I think, but it's the home phone. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind a phone. So he said, oh, okay, I'll give you a discount off the phone. I went, no. We'll do a contra deal here. We'll do so anyway, I negotiated this thing for a phone. I said, but I'll do it properly. And I went down, had a look. And I was making, like, people think of a song and it would start to play on the stereo, and I filmed so I could reach in the TV and pull things out the telly, and put all that together. And so it wasn't a paid gig, it was for a phone. But then from that, the head of Bang & Olufsen came down to that product launch from Reading, saw me, then got me in for a meeting. And cut a long story short, I then worked for Bang & Olufsen all around Europe, and was flying out to all their different sort of meetings, and became the Bang & Olufsen magician, and made an Aston Martin appear for them. And they delivered an Aston Martin to my house in a low loader, a trailer, an Aston Martin Rapide, and I had it for 3 days, full of fuel, me insured on it, because it had a Bang & Olufsen sound system, and I was going to launch, because I was going to do this launch of one of their systems that was going to play simultaneously in all the stores around Europe. And I had the idea, because Aston Martins have B&O sound system in them, so I could make an Aston Martin appear, and we could do some stuff and appear in the store. And said, okay, we'll do that. And what? So it just shows, from that one gig I did for the phone, it ended up being a really big gig for me, and I got to have an Aston Martin for a weekend, and it was amazing. I was scared of the paddles, and I didn't really use the sound system, so I just wanted to hear the engine. It was amazing. I was giving like rides to friends up and down the road. It was stunning. But that's just an example of a gig that a lot of magicians may have said, no, I'm not. You haven't got the budget. I'm not doing it. Look what it led to, that. And the same thing happened with the Gordon Ramsay residency. There was a restaurant in Notting Hill. I did a show, and the staff said, would you do something for us at the end? I said, yeah, absolutely. And it was because I did magic for the staff in this restaurant in Notting Hill, then led to me getting to know this chef. He then booked me to do a show for him, and we did a contra deal. He gave me a meal to the value of £750. That's an expensive meal, but it was like, that was wines from around the world, and I did a deal and did this thing, did a staff do in the cave and all sorts. But from that meal led to me meeting this other guy, who then went on to work for Gordon, and then my name came up, and then that then led to this unbelievable residency for Gordon Ramsay. And since that, I've done all of Gordon's children's 18th birthday, and last one I did was the year before last, but it was for Tilly, and me and Ed Sheeran were the entertainment. So, and that I got to see Ed Sheeran in concert with 100 people in the restaurant, and so very, very lucky. And that I miss that a lot. I'm usually there every month in the restaurant doing the magic and stuff, and miss that. But that's just shows everything leads from little something. So you never know, whatever little opportunity you have. That's why, like I say, you never know who's watching, because everything leads to something. Even the gig at Buckingham Palace came from me doing a family party for someone who then knew someone who was organising the event at the palace, and got me booked for that. And so this is the thing. Just get yourself out there and doing it. You never know who's watching.
That is amazing advice. I mean, that is fantastic advice. And you've shown over and over again that works for you. And like I say, the other thing that you do from a social proof point of view is you're constantly collecting social proof. I mean, saying you're the resident magician for this restaurant, you've worked for the Queen, you've done this, you've done that. Can we talk about what I think is probably the most impressive piece of social proof that you've got, which is the Uri Gellar quote?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I just can't believe that you got Uri Gellar to say that about you. I just can't believe it, Michael. I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
Knowing how the guy is and what he's like, I just can't believe it.
Yeah, that's so I have an amazing quote from Uri Gellar. And it's become a big part of my show. I talk about meeting Uri Gellar and stuff before I do this. But my spoon bending and now has become like a closer in my show. And it's even similar to the sort of coin thing. I guess it's the adult version of the coin, the spoon. There's a real bit of script that goes with it when I hand the spoon out for them to keep, and I sign it and talk about what it does and stuff and what they can achieve. But it's from that quote. So here we go. I've got the quote here on my website, michaeljfitch.com. It's okay. Michael's spoon bending act amazed me. It looks like the metal melts at his gaze. He does it better than me, Uri Gellar.
That's incredible.
If you're going to get a quote from someone on metal bending, I think Uri Gellar's the one to get it from. And yeah.
How did that come about? Because how would you even possibly? Wow! I just don't even know how you'd even get him to do that.
Yeah, I met him when he was at Ron Macmillan's Day in London, and I remember he won the David Berglass Award, and we knew he was going to be there in that evening. I went for dinner with a group of magicians, and I remember saying to Dave Penn saying, "Oh, I'd love to get a quote from Uri Gellar on spoon bending," and Dave said, "There's no way you'll get a quote from Uri Gellar," and I was like, "Why not?" It's like, and maybe Dave knew that because it spurred me on, and he was impressed that I got that quote. He told me there's no way you'll get it. I said, well, what have I got to lose? And yeah, when I spoke to him, and now it's become a big part of the show. And I'm friends with Uri. He WhatsApps me, and he's very kindly done an audio recording, because I mean Yuri's a self-publicist, the best self-publicist in the world, and he's happy that I talk about him in the show, and in a very respectful way, you know. And since then, obviously, when again, another unbelievable situation, when I went to Vegas and David Copperfield gave me the tour of the museum and stuff, and I did the write-up for Magic Scene, and David Copperfield invited me back with my wife and with another magician, Matthew Dowden, to the apartment at the top of the MGM, and went up there, and I bent a spoon for David Copperfield at 2:00 in the morning in his suite at the MGM. And I've got that picture of bending the spoon for David. And it's amazing, little opportunities like that, how they all come together. But it helps when I do that in the show. It 100% is part of the routine, and I'm not lying at all. You know, and I say the letter turned up in the post and it was bent, and it gets a laugh and this and all the build up, and then I say, you know, I've performed this all over the world. Would you like me to do it for you today? And the audience is like, yeah, and the music's on, and you know, like you've seen on that video, it becomes a big stage piece. I have a camera on my hands, and it can become a really big moment. So I don't do that close up anymore. That's a closer now. Yeah, it's something I'm very, very proud of as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, wow. The thing that I'm seeing over and over again is just put yourself out there. You know, don't be afraid to reach out and try and take opportunities, because you never know where it's going to lead. I mean, this is the narrative that I'm seeing through the whole of this interview. Can I ask, can we move a little bit into you as a creator? Because a lot of people don't think of you as a creator, because it's not like you've put out multiple projects through Penguin Magic or Murphys or anything like that, but you have released products just through yourself to a very niche group of people. And I've been lucky enough to pretty much buy everything you've ever put out. And you know that when you see some creators that release stuff all of the time and it's not really practical, when you decide to put a product out there, you know that it's going to be well thought out, it's going to be a real work, or it's going to be something completely different. What made you go down the route of creating magic? Were you creating stuff to release to the magic community, or was it really something that you created for yourself that you decided to then share?
No, not for everything that's gone out. There's not loads that's gone out, but everything that has gone out has been linked to stuff I've done for me for work. I've never sort of come up with an idea to market it. It's always linked to work for me, you know, like the chocolate routine that I know you do a lot. The chocolate story that came around because I was hosting a ball for the Helen Rowlandson Cancer Charity in London, and it was a chocolate themed ball, and I was like Willy Wonka, and it was literally a couple of days before the event in London. Thought I really want to do something linked to chocolate bars, and we sat down around a table and list all the chocolate bars. So I'll tell a story and we'll mention some chocolate bars in the story, and I'll say I've got the double decker into London, or then I've got the tube of Smarties, and it grew from there. And we wrote this thing, then put some gags in as well. And at first, I didn't used to have the visuals with all the chocolates. It was done as an MC bit, and it got a really big round of applause. And I used to say, I see how many chocolate bars you hear I mention in my journey here today, ladies and gentlemen. And I learned this story and said it, and it got a really big round of applause, and people were commenting, "Oh, that was brilliant! I love that!" And oh, cool. And then I did it for Leon Fisk's birthday. I think I went to with Wayne Dobson, and they loved it. And then Wayne said, "You've got to do that in my show." And I did that in the show, and then loads of magicians were saying, "Oh, I'd love that routine." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So then I put it together, but didn't, I wasn't just going to put it together for like 15 quid or something. So I used this in my act. So I put it together at a decent price with all the pictures and everything and the full routine. And a lot of pros like yourself bought it, like Nick Einhorn bought it and done an amazing thing. He did it with the pictures coming up on a slide or the screen, and at the end there's a big confetti can over the audience, and turned it into a really big sort of stage piece. And it was amazing, and a real big compliment when people like yourself and Nick and other acts get it, who use it and see it as a worker. And so yeah, that was probably the first. Or did I do the walking knot? Maybe I did the walking knot before that. But yeah, Well,
I rave about that to everyone I speak to. But the walking knot, I'd like to talk to you about that, because I know there's a funny story to do with this, with practical magic. I will tell you that I used to do the walking knot in my act, Pavel's really expensive version. I then bought yours, which uses a regular rope.
Mm-hmm.
And I sold it. I sold the really expensive version, the walking knot, because yours is better and more magical, which should tell you something about your routine. But I know that you've got an interesting story with you and Jeremy from Practical Magic, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did that in a theatre show. I did quite a few sort of local theatre shows, and in either the day before, the Friday, I think I did a 4-show run, Friday evening. I was doing Pavel's walking knot, and it went on me. And I don't want to give anything away just in case, but it wasn't reliable. Something happened that shouldn't have happened, and didn't. And I think maybe I had a dodgy version of the prop, because I know it wasn't the case. So I don't want to put it down, but it absolutely was not doing what it was meant to do. And it was a big part of the show, because I was like an opening routine. I opened with this. So I had to sort of rethink it, and I came up with a version with normal rope, using tabori and different moves and things, and changing it, but still keeping every phase. I cut it in the middle, move it to the end, untie it, cut, and then move it to the other end, untie it, move it back to the middle, put the rope back together, and now they could keep the rope, which added so much. You have the rope, you throw it, and what? Now, so I did that, and that was online, that routine. And Jeremy, bless him, he's sadly not with us anymore, but Jeremy from Practical Magic, he phoned me up and said, "Oh, I'm stocking Pavel's walking knot, seen your video, do you mind if we use it to promote Pavel's walking knot?" And I was like, "That's very kind of you. Yeah, you can use it, but it's not Pavel's walking knot. That's a normal piece of rope." And I think he swore, actually, which Jeremy didn't do a lot. He did. He said a naughty word. And he's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, it's a normal bit of rope." And he said, "I've got to watch that again. That's unbelievable then." And then, so then we made some up. He said, "Can you explain it? Would you do that as a thing?" So we called it the knot walking knot. And and we put it together. I explained it, and the video is really cute now. If you remember, the video, it's got the girls completely goofing around in the lounge. I'm like trying to explain it, and they're like pulling the rope, and I'm like, stop it, you know, they're real little toddlers and they're grown up now. But I look back at that real fond memory, seeing them at that age, sort of me trying to explain this thing. And yeah, and like again, that was picked up by many people. Jeremy was always ordering more and more. And recently, I don't know why it was, but just beginning of lockdown, I was contacted by someone in America and someone in Singapore. So either it has been spoken about on a magic cafe or something, but I got a lot of interest in it again, and created a download version of it now that Merchant of Magic now have. So Merchant of Magic, you can pick up the Not Walking Not as a download from them, and it's got, you know, you get the video and everything, and it's a solid routine, and it can't go wrong.
No, not at all. It's amazing. Do you still sell Life as a Box of Chocolates?
I don't advertise it anywhere. It would be direct. So if it's something someone was interested in, then yeah, absolutely, I could do that. And obviously the latest thing, which I do sell, and there's a story attached to this. I'm scanning from see if I've got one nearby. Is the How's That? Which
is amazing. Yeah.
And there's another little story attached to that. So I do a lot of shows for Graham Gooch, the, you know, England cricketer legend, and he booked me for a show at Lord's, and I wanted to do some sort of theme stuff, and I thought I want to do something, and I created this routine with a paddle stick. I thought paddle stick looks like a cricket bat, and then I wanted it bigger, and I wanted a handle on it, so I redesigned it and had the, like, you know, you got the proper handle on there and stuff, which is amazing because it's really fast with that grip and everything. And then wanted that final reveal, and as you know, the real cricket ball appears at the end, and I put that together just for that and just for me. And I was doing it, and I think I took it down to the Circle or something, or showed someone. I was like, oh, I'd love that, I want that, I'd do that. That makes sense now. And I showed it, in fact I showed Stephen, I showed Dynamo, and he was like, that's the best version of it I've seen, because it makes sense. It's a mini cricket bat. It's not like a thing. And I made the classic mistake of thinking it's a paddle stick. Everyone knows this from a magic set. They don't.
No.
And it's the most eye-popping magic. It's like, what? And you see it jump and all this, and then now it's got that ending. And I did that for the England cricket team a couple of years ago, where they won the World Cup. I went and did a show for the England cricket team 5 days after they won the World Cup. I was at St George's Park in the thing, and I did a show just for them. And I did that for all of the guys there. In fact, I'll show you this there. It's on the website, michaeljfitch.com. It's subtle. But yeah, that's the England cricket team there. So I did a special show for them, and obviously absolutely loved that. They loved it. So yeah, that's something that is available through most magic dealers now. You can contact me if you wanted to get one of them, or you can contact Alakazam or Prop Dog, I think, have it and stuff as well. But yeah, that's something I am proud of. Very proud.
It's an amazing prop. Great prop. Now let's talk about some of the stuff that you do for magicians, if you don't mind me asking.
Of course.
You mentioned very early on in this interview that as a kid you used to watch Wayne Dobson.
Yep.
So it must be amazing for you that you've now got to a point where you've got to work over the last few years so closely with Wayne, and I know you consider him like one of your closest friends.
Yeah, it was like more like family now. It feels like family. Wayne, yeah, I'm very, very lucky. So I remember I used to see Wayne at Blackpool, and always would say hello to him, like, you know, a bit fanboy. Hello, Wayne. He's like, all right. And don't know, I don't know how that amazing turning point came from. I remember he lectured at Ipswich, and I helped him with a gag and did something, and he invited me over to his house, and I was like, oh my God, yeah. So, you know, I went to his house and spent the day, and then while he was doing something else or talking to someone, he said, oh, I've just got to do this, have a look through, there's some videos there, DVDs there, stuff I've done, and like a stack about that big of all TV appearances and stuff, stuff that people hadn't seen at all, and like even like guest appearances on TV shows and things. And I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant, Wayne. I said, you should totally put it together, because Wayne was, at the time, he had an amazing lecture that I see him do in London. Now I see him do the Magic Circle, see him do it Ipswich. But it was his Wayne Dobson lecture, tossed out deck, different routines, his stuff. And I thought this you've got so much more that can be done here with all this video. So I was doing a lot for the Ipswich Magic Society, which is my local magic club, and I was helping organise the convention there. And I've just been made a cup of tea. Thank you very much. I was organising the convention, the show part of the convention, and I said to Wayne, would you do like, what about if we did a special thing where I interviewed you and we played little clips? And he was well up for that. So we did that, and that was quite a big project to sort of, find the right clips, a bit like This Is Your Life sort of thing, showing his career of videos, because there's a younger generation who don't know the Wayne Dobson story. And then we got booked to do that for Blackpool, and then we got booked to do it in Newcastle for the Tyneside convention. Then the IBM booked us to do it, and then FISM booked us for Blackpool, and we become this sort of little double act thing. And Wayne's very cheeky, he's got this very, very wicked sense of humour, and I get his sense of humour, and would set up little jokes and things like that and do all this stuff. And that led to doing the Wayne Dobson and Friends show every year at Blackpool, which became its own incredible sort of beast. And, people were queuing. It became an event of its own. I became very, very lucky. And where it's last Blackpool, obviously we all went to be at Blackpool this time of year, but last year was just unbelievable. What happened, and if you didn't go, then basically an idea I had a couple of years ago, sort of said it as a joke. I was talking to Adam Topham, saying, I'd love to do an illusion. Wayne should be on the gala show. We should get him in the gala show, put him in a box that's shaped like a wheelchair and saw that enough, or do something funny, or make him fly or something. He's like, oh, you should speak. And the twins were there, Gary and Paul, and I talked to them. And I said, oh, yeah, we love Wayne. We'd be up for that. So, oh, and then I drove home and I phoned Russ Stevens. I was like, let's make Wayne Dobson fly. Everyone's up for it. Let's make him fly in his wheelchair. And he was like, that would be cool. That would be cool. And then it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And it was, but the idea was there. And then only sort of the year before, did we do it 2019? 2020 it happened. No, yeah, 2019. I spoke to Richard Cadell about who is the nicest guy in the world, by the way. He's in charge of Sooty, and he's amazing, man. And I was like, oh man, I told him the idea of making him fly, and Richard's like, why has this not happened yet? We've got to make this happen. And I love that energy. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Why hasn't it? Yeah, let's do it. And it's amazing how if you just think positive like that, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Bang, positive. Surround yourself with the right people. And then we create this team, Project Orville, it was called, because Orville the duck, I wish I could fly. Wish I could fly. Right. So Project Orville was created, an amazing team, and it was incredible. We did it. We made it happen, and we made Dobbo fly in the gala show, and with a little wicked joke before that is typical Wayne sense of humour. That I told him the idea that Sacha Baron Cohen did a thing where, if you remember the comedy sketch with the lady in the wheelchair, and she's standing there with Charlie Chaplin's original stick, and she's in a wheelchair, and he falls and pushes her off the stage, and no one knew about it, and she was a stunt double and created a moment. I told Wayne about that. He's like, yeah, let's do that. It's like, what? Hang on a minute, we're talking about creating this beautiful moment, making you fly. He goes, yeah, but let's make me fall out my wheelchair first. I was like, oh, why did I tell him about that? And then and we did that bit as well, and it had every emotion in that opening. And yeah, to see him get that standing ovation twice, and we did the gala show twice, and he didn't just go up and down, he flew over the heads of the audience and created an iconic moment that I think will live on forever. And that's just amazing. So that journey from helping him with a gag at the Ipswich Magic Society, it led to that. And this is one of the most proudest things is he gives me a nice mention in his book. Probably would open straight at that page actually. But Wayne's iconic voices routine, he wanted me to do it and gave me permission to do his voices.
You are the only person in the UK that's
I have the rights in the UK to do his voices. And
means so much to you, Michael.
Oh, big time, really does. And that came around because I did went to Leon Fisk's birthday. Leon was his manager, and then Mary, bless her, she passed away recently. She passed. She was amazing, but she she booked me to do the Voices routine at the Dorchester in front of 2,000 people, and Leon was there as well watching, and it was a real high pressure and a load of close-up magicians. But yeah, there's a bit. Where the hell is it? It's vanished. But no, it's got me in here, and very, very kindly calls me the successor as a heading. And I mean, this book's amazing. It's got all of his work in, and there we go. I mean, look, in Wayne Dobson's book, to get a double page like that, and a whole page there, incredible. And yeah, we've done some amazing things together, and yeah, he wants to fly again. So the dream is to make him do it again at the Palladium. Would be amazing, because that's where his career was sort of launched. So why not in one of these big variety shows they do, show the clip of him and say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Wayne Dobson, and he flies over the audience. Because what a great positive message to give out to everyone.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
You ever find, like you say, you and Wayne started the Wayne Dobson and Friends show, and for many people, it's become the highlight of the whole Blackpool convention. Do you find, and I know that you're a big part of planning that whole thing out, do you ever feel pressure that, I mean, people's expectations are so high with that thing? Do you ever find a little bit of pressure that, oh my God, how am I going to top this next year? What the heck? Because every year it's better. Do you ever worry about that?
It's strange. We've got sort of found a formula that works. I'll go to Wayne's for a few days before, and we'll plan stuff on Skype and things and write jokes. And a lot of that stuff is only ever done once. So it's got that real fringe feel. So it's not a polished act. It's not polished at all. And, you know, we'll do some funny little links and stuff. And some stuff's better than others. You know, we've only done it once and we're like, oh, it's not as good as we wanted it to be. But then there's, you know, he's got this, like the Johnny Spangles character comes out and does bits. And that was just, Johnny Spangles just made Wayne Dobson laugh on Skype. And then Wayne's like, I want him in the show. It's like, oh my days. And it's so then it will just grow from there, different ideas. And we've done some really funny stuff. And Wayne's got an amazing sense of humor. And, you know, he once he did a routine with Stephen Hawking's voice and him. What was the thing he did? I'm sure he had a bit of dialogue with Stephen Hawking voice or something about robot wars and all sorts. But it's like a typical sense of humor of Wayne's is one of the gags that he loves. It just shows what he's like. It's like, I saw Wayne on Skype after he had a date. He had a date with this woman. I saw him the day after, and he looked terrible. Wayne was covered in cuts and bruises. And I said, "What, Wayne? What happened?" And he went, "Oh, she stood me up." So it's okay because Wayne said it, and Wayne wanted to do that gag. And yes, it's not really right. It's like, oh, you know, but it just shows. And he's got. I mean, you know what? With COVID's times and all that, literally, when I spoke to Wayne at the beginning of this whole lockdown, it's like, welcome to my world. You know, you're at home, you can't go out, you're in front of the computer. That's what I've been doing for 30 years or so, 25 years. So it's a real leveler, and yeah, and it's
incredible. Yeah.
Incredible. That's. But I've been very, very lucky. I've been very, very lucky in magic that become friends with like my heroes and idols in magic. And magic community is quite a small community, and there's a load of amazing magicians. And become very, very lucky. Like recently, I've been, and if I told a younger self that I'd be doing this, I've been spending a lot of time with David Berglas and helping create his website, davidberglas.com. Subtle plug. But that's been an amazing thing. There's a man who, when he talks, you listen, and he's still got that powerful voice. And oh my days, like incredible stories in magic and show business, and and a magical advisor on James Bond and all that malarkey. It's like the pure dream. And I always explain to people that David Berglas is a real life Dumbledore in the magic world, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people's opinion. He's been there, done it, and I've got a lot of respect for him. I think he's 95 this year, I think, and is extremely sharp, and yeah, very, very honoured to call him a friend, and had many conversations and been through all the photos and archive and help. So basically, davidberglass.com, any young magicians out there, that is a website that you should bookmark and go back to, because it's got all of his digital scrapbooks on that tell his incredible stories that Martin Hart's helped him put together. And they're amazing. You know, they're in David's words, literally going through his scrapbooks now with footage as well. And, you know, I mean, David's inspired so many magicians, and to be able to call him a friend, and I don't know how. I'm very, very lucky, because, you know, that's another incredible name with a big list of magicians that I've become close friends with. I'm extremely
lucky. You are lucky, but at the same time, you put yourself out there. You know, you are lucky, but at the same time, you know, you make your own luck. I mean, you know, it was Dave Penn, your friend Dave Penn, that once said to me, be so good that they can't ignore you. And I think that that's something that you've done your whole career. You've just been amazing at everything you've done. And yeah, there's probably a certain amount of luck to it, but also there's the fact that you're very, very good at what you do, and you're very, very good at putting yourself out there as well.
No, I enjoy it. I enjoy it, and you know, magic's still my passion, the same as it was when I was a kid. And I'm living the dream, literally doing what I wanted to do for a living. If you're doing magic for a living, well, it's difficult at the moment, obviously, with these times, but that's what we wanted. So be happy with that, absolutely. And like, it's great fun. It means you don't have to grow up. You can create these amazing moments and reactions, and you know. And I love projects. I love magic projects, and. You know, talking about David, obviously his son Marvin, I'm again extremely lucky to be friends with Marvin. Marvin's an incredible inspiration and good friend. He's he's an entrepreneur in the magic world and in his industry. He's a fantastic magician, and he's been great. He's been amazing, sort of advice and things, and created amazing opportunity. I do some bits for Marvin's Magic. I'm very proud to help be one of the magicians involved in producing the Rubik's Cube magic set.
You know what? My son Ryan's into magic, obviously, and he can solve Rubik's Cube very quickly. And we sat down and watched the live stream that you did a couple of months ago, and he saw that set, the Rubik's Cube set, for the first time, and he's like, "Dad, why have I not got this?" And we immediately just like jumped on there and ordered that, because he was like, "I need this. I need this."
I was amazing to see that as a project. I sat around a table with the team, and to see them go from a piece of paper into the magic set, not that long a time period as well, was incredible. And to throw some ideas and have some of my ideas in that, and even get a credit on the back page at the bottom. My name is in the back page of there as well. And so from that, I also then went to Nuremberg in January to the toy fair in Germany, and that was it's the biggest toy fair in the world. And who walks up to the stand to see the magic set? Erno Rubik. And what do I get? Talking about opportunities, a signed Rubik's Cube from the man who invented Rubik's Cube.
Oh my gosh.
Opportunity, like, you know, and I did magic for Erno Rubik from the Rubik's Cube magic set. And like, that was amazing. I got that. It's a real honor. So yeah, this is full of little bits, and they're all linked to these stories. Actually, we didn't plan like this, but look, signed Rubik's Cube, a signed Uri Gellar bent spoon. That was from the day I got the quote from Uri Gellar. That's another story. Ronnie O'Sullivan cricket ball, snooker ball. This is the cricket for the England cricket team. But everything in here links to a story and an opportunity, and that's what life's about. You know, it's creating stories, memories. That is what life's about. And if you as a magician can help create a memory, I'm just talking about memories. Look at this. How cool is this? That was a birthday card sent to me from David Berglass.
Wow.
Right? And that is got to be the coolest birthday card ever. Let me open this up. Hang on, that's come perforated there.
That's great.
Isn't that awesome? So yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. So yeah, that's signed from him as well, which is amazing. But yeah, everything in the cabinets and shelves all around is all linked to memories. And as a magician, whenever you go, whatever gig you do, no matter whether it be in a local village hall or it be a big corporate do, remember, you never know who's in the audience, and you are creating literally a magical moment that people will remember forever. So make it special.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. Now, before we wrap this thing up, there's two things I want to talk about. One that I know you're very passionate about, which is the magic circle. You are, from an outsider looking in, you are a big part of the driving force towards the resurgence of the magic circle. I think a few years ago, I'm not saying it was stuffy, it wasn't, but it felt a bit closed off. Like it was kind of like stuff happens behind these closed doors and we don't know what it is. But with this whole magic circle unlocked, the buzz about the magic circle, not just in the UK, but all over the world, has been amazing. And I know you've been a big part of that, haven't you, Michael?
It's been a real pleasure to do that. Yeah. And, you know, it did put a lot of time into that, but because of this unique situation, we've got more spare time. The way that happened briefly is, on a Monday, the Magic Circle meet in this virtual way. You know, we have a Zoom meeting every Monday, and it's great because you're having a talk with your mates and stuff about a thing you're learning or something you've seen. And it was after a lecture, we're talking, and it was we're just talking, and Noel Britton, the president of the Magic Circle, was on and said, you know, it'd be great if it's a shame the Dealers Day in October is cancelled. You know, it was the news. It'd be great if we did like an online version of it, and so could do this and could do that, and sort of suggested it, not knowing what it was going to lead to. And the next morning, Noel Britton rings me up. I was like, "Hi, how are you? Great chat yesterday." I said, "Yeah, absolutely." He said, "That idea you had with the thing, would you be up for, you know, heading that, and would you be up for being involved and help organise that?" I thought, I can't say no. I can't suggest something and go, "No, I guess someone else should do it." So I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't say I had gigs on because you know I didn't have gigs." So I was like, "Yeah, I could do that, absolutely." And then I knew the quality of what Peter Nardi was putting out with his Alakazam lives, you know, and the technology and stuff, and said Peter would be really good to get involved, and that sort of between the three of us had a chat, and it just grew. And I was like, "Oh, well, I know, let's get we'll get so-and-so." And I sort of go from my phone. And then it changed from becoming a Dealers Day into, look, we'll create a page that's, because it's not for Magic Circle members, it's for magicians worldwide, but it's the Magic Circle saying, "Look, everyone, here we are, this is what we do." But also, most importantly, one, it's good for dealers, good for magicians, something to look forward to. But also, a lot of magicians feeling really crap at the moment because we're missing what we do. You know, entertaining is a drug. Getting out there and entertaining people is a drug, and you miss it, and you can get very, very depressed. And I 100% understand that, and have bad days as well, and feel that. And you know, so I thought this is needed for magicians worldwide. It's a fun event, and you know what, be amazing to get a message from a magician who they respect and stuff. So I sort of go through, and Michael Amar agrees to say something, and then, you know, and obviously I've got Wayne Dobson at the end. We talk about his flying, and even got a message from David Berglass, and I'm ringing around, and everyone's saying yes. And it all of a sudden, everyone's saying yes. It becomes a very long show, and it was like a children in need night, a sort of charity night. But you know what? So what? It was amazing, and a lot of people stayed for the whole thing. And we had the numbers went up, you know, nearly 1,000 people watching, and live, and all the comments were going, and we had great team members of the Magic Circle replying to all the comments, and we're saying, "This is the Magic Circle, guys," and having a laugh, and, you know, a laugh with Peter on there and stuff, and there's a bit of banter, and then, you know, we're introducing the other acts, and then at the end we crack open a bottle of wine, and I start giving away Magic Circle mugs on the president's behalf, saying, "Who else wants a Magic Circle mug?" "No, they want a mug, give them a mug." And he's like, "What?" But it was, and it was just a lot of fun, but with some amazing motivational messages on there. And the feedback, one, we had a lot of people inquiring about joining the Magic Circle, you know, and becoming a member, and we had a draw to become a member of the Magic Circle and the Young Magicians Club. but it was showing, we had an amazing video showing the headquarters, and it was all of that, but it was so much more. And yeah, something I'm really, really, really proud of, actually. And it was great fun. It was a lot of work. Literally took over my life putting that all together during that time, to put on an amazing show. And yeah, really relieved it was as successful it was. And it also had that great feel good. We have messages from magicians saying, you know what, I put all my magic away in the loft during this pandemic, and that's made me get it back out again. And that's amazing to get messages like that. And we had messages from all around the world like that. And yeah, it really was a joy. And then obviously the success of that then led to the Soaring in Half celebration a few months later, celebrating PT Selbit's 100 years since creating the Soaring in Half illusion, or as Paul Rothman calls it, soaring. He can't talk properly. But we then put on this show, and the publicity behind that, worldwide news, that was incredible. And I think we're nearly 38,000 views on that show now on the Magic Circle Unlocked page.
That's amazing. And that was just as good. It was phenomenal. You and Peter make a great double act. I don't know if you've worked together with each other before, but you guys really bounced off each other so well.
Oh, thank you. He's fun. He's really funny. Peter really makes me laugh. He's a great laugh, and comes up with some real classics. So yeah, it was good fun and a real pleasure to do. A great project. And again, the reaction with and that's all good for magic. It's good for magic, and it's good for the Magic Circle. It's getting the name out there. I mean, the news pickup was unbelievable. Sooty was on this morning, sawing Barbie in half, and I did a spot on the BBC News, and I know that Sky News did a really big piece, but that BBC piece went worldwide. We had people contacting us from all around the world saying they'd seen about the Soaring in Half event the Magic Circle was putting on. And so yeah, more things like that would be nice. And there's things in the pipeline. So if you haven't seen this, it's on the Magic Circle Unlocked Facebook page. It's all on there to catch up on, and it's some great fun content on there.
I'll put a link down below, and I seriously encourage everyone to join, which you can do so by just going to themagiccircle.co.uk.
Absolutely.
That's where you start the ball rolling, right?
Yeah, you don't have to be a local member, because on Mondays we have an amazing virtual HQ with lectures, the best lectures from around the world. And yeah, it's a great community. It really is a great community. And that's what's needed at the moment in magic, is that good community.
Completely agree. Totally agree. One last question. Well, actually two, but one main one. Can we talk about Zoom shows? Because obviously I want to specifically talk about the Zoom show that I'm not going to call it a Zoom show, because you're planning a full evening, which I want to talk about, because I've already got my tickets and I know it's going to be phenomenal. So I want to talk about that. But before we very quickly talk about that, you've been doing quite a lot more recently with Zoom shows. You shared with me some of the stuff that you're doing off camera before this started. It's just amazing. Have you got any quick advice you can offer people? A lot of people are scared of doing this whole virtual show. Have you got any advice for somebody who's...
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people doing a lot more than me. I'm not doing it all the time, but when I've done it and when I do it, I absolutely love it, and they love it, which is the main thing. Obviously, you don't just do a show that you enjoy, but they don't. And the feedback's been fun. And I've done, again, like we're talking about, versatile. I've done family shows, and I've done corporate gigs and stuff. And in this environment, and I've invested. We had an amazing lecture at the Magic Circle. Carissa Hendricks, she's phenomenal, and she knows all about her tech, and she's got all the tech set up, and it was really inspirational. And I was like, oh my God, she cost me a fortune, because I'm like buying all different cameras and lighting and sound things that do all different bits, and to improve it. And it's become a big hobby sort of to magicians, in how can I improve that a bit more? I want to get a stream deck. So if I push this button, it'll cut to this camera, or I'll bring that graphic in, or this, or I'll get this lighting. How can I improve that a bit? Oh, I need an HD camera there. Okay, well, I'll get one of them, and you improve it. But it started off just with the one computer. And I was lucky. I literally had a call from an agent saying, are you free in a couple of hours to do 20-minute spot at the end of a Zoom meeting of magic? And that was a decent fee. And I was like, I'm not going to say no. So I was like, yep, God, right. So back, get it all together. But you know, I spoke to everyone involved on the screen. I was like, oh, what's your name there? And there's a bit of, with my star was a bit of sort of fun and comedy with what's in the background there. You're right, Dave. What's that there? I'll just highlight you, and then doing the magic. And they're all laughing, having a good time. And that's why you booked. That's why you booked, is to have a great time and amaze them and make them laugh. And it works. It works over Zoom. It does work. It does work. And I absolutely prefer the real world. I do. But yeah, that then led to another thing, and then, you know, it's great, and I don't know, I enjoy it, and I feel happy with the product that I'm offering now, and yeah, I've set up a big backdrop to the side here so I can do some stand-up stuff as well. I've got a school show, a science-based magic show that I'm going to be doing over Zoom to the school if they're not open, so that's ready to go on Zoom. And just, this is our world at the moment. This is our virtual stage. So I know some people don't want to do it at all, and I totally get that. But you know what? Not just money wise, I want to do it for using those creative juices. I really enjoy projects, and yeah, so that's what it's all about for me. Is you know, and I've got all things to hand. And it looks clean on there, but I've got all different stuff I can grab here and do stuff, and it's good. It's good fun. It's nice. Pocket management's easy because you just put it at the bottom of the desk.
It's done.
Yeah.
But the show that you've got coming up on the 12th of March,
yes,
that's a big deal. I mean, that's a huge, because a lot of magicians are offering, like, you know, £10 a ticket and come and watch me do half an hour's worth of magic. You've taken it to the next level here, Michael, haven't you? I mean, can we talk? I mean, it's a huge thing that you've done. You're not doing like a little half an hour thing. You've got basically a night of entertainment planned.
Yes, we have. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be doing a show. I can, if I push this button, it will bring up the poster for it. There you go. Yeah.
And I'm a massive fan of Matt Cardell.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's got a phenomenal voice. He won X Factor. That was like 10 years ago. He actually beat One Direction back in the day, and he's got an amazing voice. And I've known him for a long time, since him doing the competition and stuff. And he's been a supporter of me. He's come down to Gordon Ramsay's to watch me work and stuff. And he's been to my theatre shows and things. And we had, a few weeks ago, I had a bit of fun, did some magic for him, and his girlfriend, and just had a gin and tonic and a chat doing stuff, and he was totally freaking out at the stuff. And then he said, oh my God, I want to repay you. How can I repay you? He said, next week I'll sing for you, because my daughter's a massive fan of his. Like, literally his music's playing all the time. His pictures are all around the walls. And we put the computer into the telly and sat down, and he got his guitar, and he sung some songs for us, like live. And it's just, his voice the pitch of his voice is phenomenal. You know, he's got this very high pitched voice, and he's a proper musician, incredible. He's got some amazing single out, Purple Crayons, his new single. And he sung that for us, and then we'd stop and have a gin and tonic and a chat. And from me doing the magic for him and him doing that, it said, you know, we should do this as a night. We should do this as a night, because it's the banter as well, that me and Matt have a bit of banter, and he'll sing a song, or I'll do a bit of magic, and we're going to mix it as well. So I'm going to do magic mixed with the music. So I'm going to get someone to think of a song, and then Matt will play the song, and it will be an interactive evening. And so, you know, for Matt's fans to have a one-on-one and actually be able to, we're going to put questions and answers in as well with Matt, and song requests as well. Matt, I love that song. Can you sing a bit of that for me? And he's going to sing it. You can't have that experience in a theatre. If you go and see him at the theatre, you're sitting at the back. This is an opportunity where we're going to put the fan on the screen, talking to him, and I'm going to do some magic. So there's going to be a full 2-hour show packed with magic, music, banter, fun, and it's going to be. I'm looking forward to it immensely, and there seems to be a real buzz around this. So it's going to be a full night's entertainment, and it's on the date itself is magical, because it's on the 12th of the 3rd, 21. So it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So it's the same backwards. If you write the date backwards, it's exactly the same. So it's the 12th of the 3rd, 21. And yeah, it's going to be a fun evening. So and what's nice is people can plug their computer into their telly, and then you've got on the big screen, and it's the whole household as well. The whole household can enjoy it. It's something the kids, the adults can enjoy, and it's going to be interactive. Things I've learned from doing the magic circle things, we're going to be using the audience. You're in the show as well. You're not just watching a DVD. You're going to be there at a live event that's going to involve people, and everyone's involved in some of the magic as well. Everybody.
That's great. Now, the link is going to be in the description as to where you can get the tickets. I'm also going to put the link at the bottom of the screen. I've already bought my tickets because I know Ryland's super excited to see you. He's always wanted to see you live. What I want to do, and I haven't discussed this with you, so I hope this is okay. I'm literally throwing you on the spot right now. I'd like to buy another ticket, and I'd like to give it away to somebody in this show, if that's okay.
Wow.
So I'm going to pay for 2 tickets, and I want to give it away to somebody. Ask a question, a piece of trivia about Michael J Fitch, and they've got to put the answer in the comments down below, and I will draw it 3 days before. So I will draw it at 12th, 11th. I'll draw it on the 10th, and then I'll send the link out to whoever wins. I'd like to give away a ticket to your show because I want as many people as possible to come and see this.
Oh, amazing! Well, it'd be great. That's amazing. There you go. So just put a
ask a question, Michael. Ask
nice
a piece of trivia about Michael J Fitch. Ask a question, anything. You've got to answer down below.
Trivia. Something that we've mentioned already.
It could be.
What's written on the other side of my coin?
I love that. Brilliant. So guys, put the answer down below, and I will do a live video letting you know who the winner is on the 10th of March, and you could get a chance to go and see.
And they can have I'll tell you what, I'll also send them a £50 note, the winner, and a Michael J Fitch magic gold coin, which gives you magic power, and the postcard and a little bit of everything. So the winner will get all that as well.
Amazing. Guys, you want to get the answers down below. That is absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Michael. Final question before we wrap all this up. And this is a question I ask everybody I interview. What's next? And what I mean by that, especially for you, let's just assume that the apocalypse isn't going to happen and we're going to get back to normal. And I know you're a very positive guy, and I know you believe that things are going to get back to normal soon. You have had a career, and I know that you don't have an ego really, but you've had the career that most magicians would dream of. You've performed for royalty. You've performed literally all over the world. You've been on TV. You get to work with your childhood heroes on a regular basis. You've done it all, and then some. My gosh, you've done it all. Is there anything left on your magical bucket list? Like, what's next? Because if you retired tomorrow, your legacy is set. Let's be honest. People are going to be talking about Michael Fitch for a long time.
What's next? Ooh, there are some things in the pipeline I'm not allowed to talk about, but if they pull off, they'll overtake a lot of the stuff I've done already. So that's very promising. But just getting back out there, and I'm very lucky that some of the gigs that I do, hopefully they're coming up in the summer for me. I go to Sardinia and do these gigs on stage there, and I'm looking forward to it. More of the same would be lovely, absolutely lovely. But on this amazing magical journey, you never know what's around the corner. And I've said it before, you never know who's in the audience. So that's the beauty of this job, is that you don't know what's coming, and all you can do is be the best you can, and always try and improve. And that's what I'm always trying to do. Always trying to make that little bit more. Like I showed you a little bit of the dancing handkerchief thing I'm doing in here, and the handkerchief now flies all around the room and stuff. And that's because I've got time to do that. So yeah, I've got that real spark back for sort of creating some stuff. And and also don't just wait for the phone to ring. Create your own opportunities in life, because you can do that. You can do absolutely anything. You can achieve anything you want to if you believe in yourself. And I thoroughly believe in that.
That is so true, and also a fantastic message to end the interview. Michael, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, Craig.
Probably one of my favorite interviews I've ever done out of like the 40 or 50 I've done so far. This has been brilliant.
You say that to everybody.
No, I don't know. That's the thing. This has been exceptional, and I knew it would be good. But you've literally gone above and beyond how it's just incredible. So thank you so much for finding the time.
Pleasure.
Jump on, and guys, please listen to everything Michael said, because it's 100% true. Michael, thank you once again for coming on the channel. Get the answers down in the comments below, guys, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. I'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.